All right, guys, today we're going to do Extremity issue number 3, Skybound Image, Daniel Warren Johnson, Mike Spicer. This team is pretty familiar who are, watching, well, let's say Daniel Warren Johnson's journey into comics. They're a good team, I think. I'm not sure this is hitting home, but we're going to see. Anyway, without further ado, let's dive in and then we see where this is going. So this is a flashback where Thea is with her, I believe, her family, and she's getting initiated. That's a ritual, right? And everybody is getting assigned some kind of a name, occupation. It seems that her father's called provider. It's pretty basic, but that's not really bad. And so she goes in this tent. There's this old woman, and she talks to her, and she says, "Hey, drink this." She doesn't like that, and then she smears herself, puts that stuff on her head, saying some words, give it to her, and her name is now Artist, right? And it's, I believe it's blood or something like that. And she's still here in the now, trying to draw. She lost her good hands because of what happened in the last two issues, right? They chopped off her hand, the enemy. And they have some nice moments with her dad. Her mother is gone, by the way. And so yeah, okay, they have some nice father-daughter moment. But my only fear here, or my biggest fear, is that they turn her into the big girl boss. I'm not sure they are showing that she cannot be defeated or she is invincible. She has her doubts, and then there's some moments here that I think, okay, that is cool, but still, I think the girl boss thing needs to go, right? I'm not sure they are doing this, but that's my fear. All right, and then they have this. I'm not sure this is significant, but because this is a very big creature, and I'm going to show you later what I mean with that. Anyway, so it seems that the brother Rollo has found some kind of a droid or a robot, and he also found some organic stuff in here, and then suddenly this battery power source is getting shown. It's in his face, which is interesting, but it has also a delete button, and then he puts that away and he says, "Those paintings, tell me about them." So Rollo says, "I found them scattered all over the ancient dark. I think it's a story to show how the lands dweller of the old rose the plains into the sky and the war that followed down below." So there's some kind of a book here that shows basically the downfall of civilization, bombs, weapons, guns, atomic bombs, etc. Right? So the big fall. It's not really hard to figure out what happened before, but it seems that the people and the land is being thrown back into obscurity to the Middle Ages, but then with monsters and floating islands and stuff like this. I like that they are not showing only the floating islands, was one of my criticisms in the previous issues, but still it's very limited what you are seeing when it comes to land and backgrounds. This could be still a floating island, right? So anyway, so this is a general, and the general's this is from the bad guys kind of side, right? And it's General Brynjar, right? It seems that the queen has needs to accompanying. Is that how you say it? I don't know. But hey, he says, "I can hunt by myself, Captain. I don't need your protection." Anyway, "You could all learn a thing or two from me. Half my face is gone, my arm is gone. I had to slum through the ancient dark, through Roto territory," that's the good guys, quote unquote good guys, "to find a tech to let me hunt again." Your tech is from the old world? How could you lower yourself?" he says. "I did what I had to do. What I had to do, I won't be a cripple." All right. But then there is some kind of a dire wolf here, and it's rare. "It would look perfect on the floor of my study." So he hits it, but not kills it somehow. And so he just does some cruel things, ripping the skin off this wolf while it's still being alive. And then we go to the good guys, wherever this is, because I don't know where this is, right? And they have some kind of a catapult. It will smell a youngling from this far away. We could even be farther and still catch the scent. Using a babe to lure a mother. It takes and then he says, fire. And then it lands here with the general and the ship and all his men. Now, what I don't know is that how did they know they were here? Never in this book has been told or explained. They just know. How did they watch them from afar? Is there some spies in the neighborhood, that tells, hey, the bad guys are here? It's not here. I think that's not really good when it comes to storytelling. Anyway, also the ship looks fine, but I don't know. I don't like this bathtub looking kind of ship with the people in the back. It's in their own ship as well. Here, they also have this bathtub looking Jabba the Hutt from the original Star Wars movies, and I remember what this is mean. So okay, so this is a baby, I guess, that is dead, and then they hear a big sound, and I mean the art looks good. It's very kinetic, it's very fast paced. So it seems that the good guys from Roto, right, found these people and attacked them. Now I have questions. Now, well, it looks good, and this beast is rampaging through the enemy lines here. He says, Brynjar, do you remember us? You crushed my home. Rollo's being protected by the robot. The ship is attacking the creature, right? It turns around, and these guys are in panic, and it actually crushes the ship. And the detail is really cool. Lots of debris, lots of destruction, and you see all this glass, flying around. Well, the good guys are, jumping down. But and it also explodes. So does that mean the creature is now dead, or is it still alive? I don't know. But my main problem is that we see a lot of enemies. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 people, I guess, including the girl who looks, not on here, but on a flying ship. I believe 6, 7 people. I'm just making stuff up because I'm not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say 4 or 5 people, right? And there's a lot of people in here. Why would you attack them with only 5 people and a big monster? I mean, I don't think it's a bad plan, but why don't you take the rest of your army, your people, fighting people with you instead of, because if they are prepared for this somehow, they could have just killed the beast and you were, I don't know, behind enemy lines getting killed, like here, right? Surrounded by the bad people. Why would you do that? It sounds like a stupid strategy, but then they are being taken out by the robot, right? And the robot says, you will not hurt him because he is his friend. And the general is losing his hands, okay? And then this robot goes to town and kills everyone. And the destruction and the decapitations and maimings. It's all pretty cool. But it seems that this Mr. I am head of this clan doesn't know what he sees and probably didn't know that he could do that. So if you didn't know he could do that, why would you just, I don't know, bring just 4 people with you, right? Because you didn't know he could do that. If the robot couldn't do that, you would be dead because you weren't surrounded, right? You are just, I don't get the strategy at all. It sounds like a very poor decision. All things worked out because of the robot, right? It's all a little bit too convenient. And another one, they suddenly know where the enemy is. They charge him with the beasts, right? And then the robot saves them all. I mean, what would have happened if the robot wasn't with you? I don't ask questions. Anyway, so Thea comes in and says, Rollo, who's the brother, right? Tell you were right. And this guy says, oh, my beautiful hands. And she's, taking care of him. And I believe she's going to take over the mantle of her dad. And I think it's becoming a little bit predictable, because it is hinted that she has been prepared for bigger things. And well, the only bigger thing that's going to be is that she is, taking out the bad guys, and then she's going to become the head of this clan. I don't know if I like that, if it's already so clear, because, like I said, girl boss thing, maybe. And Rollo has maybe a supportive role because he was the one that should have led the clan, according to what's happened in the first two issues, but that's not the case. So Dad says, "Hey, Thea, hold my beer." And he says, "You were the one who helped my daughter," as Nim tore her hands off. "Well, you will have a quick death, her pain will continue. Consider yourself lucky." And he says, "Do it." He asked that of Rollo, but Rollo hesitates. All right. I figured I would end it like this someday. All right. So she's looking at him, have some flashback here. Dad says, "Do it. Guide us, give us your true selves, new beings born in the sky. Thea of the Roto Plains, I name you artist." And, well, hesitating here, and also maybe feeling a little bit bad. She's here on the knees instead of, screaming that she's the best. I like that. Still, I have my doubts. So he's dead. The robot has some kind of an existential crisis. Don't know why. I mean, it's a robot, right? And, of course, he wants to delete himself, and it was pretty predictable when we saw this earlier, that he just showed us, the reader, this. So I knew this was somehow important on later issues. I didn't know it wasn't the same issue as here. And then Rollo comes in, he says, "Don't do it." And sorry for the focus in and out. And they call him Shillo. "Shillo class, that was my model. Was my model name. I created for this. I was forced to kill by men with great power. They will mask it in grand words, rousing speeches. But in the end," he says, "they were fueled by vengeance and hatred. No matter the suffering. If this I all am good for, I should not exist." But Rollo, does not agree with that. And they just look at each other and, sitting here. Okay, why does have robots has internal crises about who they are and how they created? It's weird to me, right? Unless he is an android or maybe, have some human brain. I don't know. It's not being explained, but somehow it okay. And this was the part that I think, okay, Rollo is just a supportive character. He will not be ascend to greatness and become king or leader or whatever. No, because that's established that Thea is going to be, right? And then we have, of course, another flashback when Dad and Mom have, I don't know, being married into this clan, and then she's being killed, and she says, "Avenge me." And it was a nightmare, and Thea is here drawing this. Not sure why. So that's not creepy and weird at all. And that makes me think, okay, but where is this book going? There's not really a. I mean, these clan here, this Roto clan is supposed to be the good guys, but what are the bad guys want from this clan, right? Does it want lands? Does it want people? Does it want power? Does it want money? It's not really clear, right? And there's a lot of things. I have a lot of questions about certain actions here, like, why are you here drawing your dad having a complete meltdown? Because he feels bad of what happens in the past. Why are you here? And then with the robot thing, how did they find the bad guys? So many questions. So I'm not sure if this good. We're gonna do issue 4. Maybe we get some more answers, but I don't know, man. I like Daniel Warren Johnson, but I don't think this is a very satisfying comic. Maybe it will surprise me. There's a lot of issues here. I could be wrong, but normally I need to have that, oh yeah, this is the issue that pulls me in, and then I having fun with it. I'm 50-50 about that. Guys, let me know in the comments what you think about it. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Darksiders Comics. I do every day new content. Also got a comic book. I'm gonna leave the link that in the description. Maybe I should do that in the beginning of the video. That would be better. Anyway, I'm stop rambling. Thank you so much for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye bye.